right, welcome back to the Digital Social Hour. I'm your host, Sean Kelly, along with my co-host, Ari Gold.
What's cracking?
And our guest today, Mikki Mace. How we doing?
I'm good, Sean.
What brings you to Vegas?
So I'm gonna play a tournament at the Win tomorrow. Then I'm gonna play a tournament at Poker Go on Sunday.
Okay.
Nice. But it's a problem because I'm banned from both Aria and the Win. So I've been battling with them over the phone all week to see if they'll like permit me to come and play the tournament. And we haven't got a straight answer from anybody yet. So I'm just gonna pull up after this. I'm gonna go see them both.
So if you're banned from Aria, you can't go into the Poker Go studios?
Well, this is the thing.
Because it is operated through.
It's Aria. Like,
right.
if you want to play in the game, you have to play with Aria chips.
Right.
You have to cash in and cash
of
out
course.
Aria. So I've been in the studios. Like, I've been there. I vibed out. I've been on camera, whatever.
Sure.
But they don't have, like, first of all, everybody in the poker community, like, loves to have me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like...
it's a small, tight-knit community. For those that don't know, I mean, there's probably,
Yeah.
what, 100 mainstream guys that everybody really, knows. And within that community, you can kind of go into a room and just, oh, that's fucking Phil Ivey, or, oh, that's, whoever. But,
Yeah.
within that, it's the same, certain athletes. You have A-list, B-list, and C-list. And I feel like you're definitely in that A-list category.
Yeah, so when I go in this Poker Go studio, it's like that. We're just homies
Right.
vibing. But as far as, like, actually playing, I haven't been able to play yet because I can't buy in or cash out. Like, I'm not able to.
Interesting.
I can't even walk into any of the MGM properties, particularly Aria. For some reason, security at Aria is so fast
Tight.
on me. Like, I don't even have, like... I can't even do a walkthrough.
So you'll get grabbed if you walk in.
Oh, 100%. I post videos all the time. Well, I used to post videos. You go on my TikTok, you'll see videos of Aria security escorting me and anybody I'm with out. One time I was with Roddy Rich, Lil Baby, Kifa, and Ben Kicks. We all came together, and we were playing at one of the MGMs, and they tried to throw all of us out because they were with me. It was a real big ordeal.
I want to know how this started. How did you get... How did this persona start? Where did all the gambling come into play? How did you get to this level? Like, talk us through the journey.
Yeah, I've been gambling. Hold on.
You good? Hydration moment. Shout out our sponsors, water.
Pay me, fool.
Yeah, Kirkland. Shout out Kirkland. Give us that plug.
Kirkland,
Costco.
write me
We
a
need
check,
that,
man.
Yeah, we need that Costco plug. That's a big wave. Shit.
Yeah. So I've been around gambling my whole life. Like, my whole family is basically just like gamblers. That's what they like to do, you know? And so when I was young, it was like kind of family time. Like,
Right.
when the family was together, it's like, what are we going to do? We don't really play board games. They're like, let's play.
Play blackjack.
Yeah, pretty much. But, we'd play with like pocket change, like pennies, dimes,
Yeah, of course.
nickels. you know?
Right.
And so that's how I learned. I don't know, maybe somewhere around the age of 5, I started to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of my life, I was like with my grandparents and raised by my grandparents. And they were like lifelong high stakes gamblers.
Damn.
So I basically grew up in like New York City card rooms. Like, I was around like
shit.
these really iconic people, but I was so young. I was a child, like, I was a
You
young
didn't really
kid.
understand where you're at and what you're doing
Yeah,
at the time.
I didn't understand who I was around. I didn't really
Right.
understand, but these people who now as an adult I realized were like caring for me, right? Like, we would have all our meals in the card rooms. If I was ever bored, somebody's very like iconic people. But again, as a kid, I was just like, oh, that's Uncle so and so, or
Right.
that's the friend, whatever. And they'd be like, hey, do you want to go to Barnes and Nobles and grab some magazines? I'll come sit with you.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know like who these people were. It only when I got older did I realize,
right.
But yeah, I grew up in like New York City card rooms.
Damn. All right. So what was the transition like? I mean, obviously going from New York to Vegas, how's that transition process going?
Well, I actually ruined my life first.
All right, explain.
Yeah, I made like an incredible extended period of only the most poor decisions I can make. I was partying and I had like zero regard for consequence, and I was just out of control. I was
Living in your 20s, bro. It's all good.
younger than that, actually. I was like a early teen and teenager, and just living. The thing is, all the people around me were in their 20s, living like 20-year-olds. So here I am, 13 and 14, living like I'm
Living
20.
obnoxious. I got
Yeah,
you.
And so I actually made a pit stop down in Florida, and that's where I straightened my life out at. And I started a new life. I started working. I started as a day laborer, worked my way up. I used a phrase in one of my first ever big interviews, and I said that I leveraged my way up until being like, a fairly successful like business person.
Sure.
But it was interesting how many people were not receptive to the term of leverage. So I think a better way to put it is I just forcefully requested promotions.
Shout out to Manscaped for their support for the Digital Social Hour podcast. They are the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Their performance package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 8 million men who trust Manscaped. If my math is right, that's 16 million balls that they've helped.
16 million balls, bro.
16 million, man.
That is a lot of balls.
It is. So their product speaks volumes. Use code DSH at checkout, 20% off and free shipping. Wayne, what do you have in your hand right there?
Bro, this is the Lawnmower 4.0 by Manscaped. Super durable. Use it in the shower. I take it with me on airplanes, camping trips, wherever I go. You ever cut yourself while trimming your balls?
Yeah, I've been nicked before, for sure.
Yeah, we've all probably been through that, right?
Yeah.
But this reduces that risk. So I definitely love this thing. Probably the best ball shaver ever. Best one I've ever used.
Looks pretty nice, man, because with that regular razor, it gets dangerous down there.
Yeah, for sure. I'll never use a razor again. Only using the Lawnmower 4.0 for sure.
Hell yeah.
Use code DSH to get 20% off of your next order plus free shipping. Manscaped.
I just kept doing more work and saying, hey, I need to get promoted in a raise. And if you don't give it to me, I'm going to go to another company.
Right.
And so I just kept leveraging my position and forcefully, requesting promotions and raises. And I got it. And at some point, I had acquired enough knowledge, like through working, that I started some of my own smaller companies, and they built up. They built up pretty quickly. And then when I stopped working, I was like, I need something new. Like I've never, between being like a troubled kid and then I worked really long days and really long hours, I never really enjoyed anything. I never like lived.
There's no time to actually be a kid and shoot the shit.
Yeah, so I was like, at whatever age I was, and I stopped business. I sold some business. Some of the other businesses I gave away, but it's an interesting concept because some of them are like not. Without me, they don't make money. Like there was nothing to sell. Like you know what I'm saying?
You were the business.
Yeah, I was the business. So
It's tough when people get to know the owner, and that's really the whole personal relationship. And I honestly experienced something like that with one of my first businesses that I sold, and I soon realized that level of transition really takes a skilled person to not only hand off the baton, but teach that next person how to handle the clients, how to handle each account, how to really, connect with people. And I feel like, especially in businesses with guys like you and I, and especially Sean, it's more, the business itself is more tied to the personal relationship and the connection than it is even the business. You could charge the same price as the competitor, but if somebody vibes with you and they want to fuck with you, they're going to regardless.
Right.
That's exactly right. So I made a comment in an interview how I sold some businesses and I gave others away. And they're like, oh, if you're so successful, you never give a business away. The thing is that there was nothing to, I'm not going to, let's say me and you had that relationship, right? That you would take my business over Sean's because me and you were better friends. You preferred me. How do I sell your phone number? Like to the guy who wants to step in line? Like it doesn't work that way.
Right.
I can't tell you, hey, some guy offered me a bag, so I need you to keep doing business with that
Keep
guy.
Keep fucking with that guy, even though it's not me.
Yeah, I can't do that. So, like, this concept of giving away, what it really was, it was like handing over a Rolodex. Yeah. Like, here's the blueprint. Do what you do.
Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, so I did that, and I stepped away from, like, making money. And the thing is, at this point, I had acquired, some money, and I was like, I just want to live, man. Like, I want to basically be a kid.
So what was the allure to Vegas, like from Florida? 'Cause that's a
well,
jump.
It wasn't. So I moved to LA.
Oh,
and,
fuck.
Yeah, I moved to LA, and that has its obvious allure.
Its own toxicity in its own, yeah.
Yeah, and then when I moved to LA, I always loved gambling. I have probably more money than is for my own good at this point. I have all the time in the world. And so, like, once a week, I was taking a trip to Vegas. And, like, pretty quickly, it's all relative, like, the amounts you're gambling, like, what's a lot, what's a little. It's all relative. So I was gambling with what I thought was not a lot when I was first coming to Vegas, and I'd been desensitized. I'd been gambling since I was a kid and growing up in the card rooms. So for the amounts I was gambling, Vegas started going crazy. They were like, let me give you a jet. Let me give you this. Let me give you that. I'm like...
Didn't understand why. Like, all right,
I'm
cool.
like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And then slowly I started realizing what was happening. And I said, this is actually a very profitable endeavor so far. But I didn't enter Vegas thinking like, I'm going to be a profitable gambler. I was like, I'm just going to gamble.
He's going to blow time.
Yeah,
money.
I'm going to have fun. I'm going to party.
Right.
I'm going to win some. I'm going to lose some. But it turns out that I won more than I lost.
I feel like, but see, listen, and for as long as I've been in Vegas, it's almost like 9 years now. I feel like it's always the guys that come to Vegas that don't give a fuck about making money that make money. And it's always the assholes that come to Vegas like, I got my last 100,000 and I'm going to fucking win it. And then they come back and they're like, I lost the house. I lost the car.
I think that's a huge aspect.
Maybe it is emotion.
Imagine this. Imagine it's your last 100,000. You're going to play like it's your last 100,000.
Yeah.
But if it's Like, if you're gonna spend
If
that
it's
100 anyway,
you got another 100 million in the back. It's like,
yeah, you're gonna
gives a
play like
fuck?
more comfortably,
Right.
more like in your comfort zone and in your
Okay.
space, and you're gonna respond more comfortably to high critical and high stress situations.
Yeah.
I get that. All right. So what do you think? I'd like to hear what your take is on somebody kind of figuring out that groove or understanding their own comfort zone. Because obviously, like we just said, there's different limits to playing and obviously different price ranges fit different people. Is there a trick or is there a certain mindset that you put yourself in before you hit the tables where you're like, all right, fucking meditate for 4 minutes? Or, I mean, talk me through what you do before you hit the streets.
Well, first I wanna speak on the first part you said, and the advice I'd give somebody else is don't go to Vegas thinking you're gonna win. The truth is, honestly, the casinos are so nice because everybody loses.
Right.
There's only a few people in history that have been an actual winner in Vegas, and the few of us that exist have all gotten famous from it.
Over time.
Yeah,
Not like a one time.
Not like one win,
Right.
Nate.
We're talking a
Yeah.
consistent winner.
Yeah, there's only been a few lifetime winners.
Right.
And the few of us, including myself, got famous from it, which means it's an absolute rarity. It's a very unique
You're
characteristic.
calling yourself part of the 1% because you are essentially.
Which is why we got this recognition,
Right.
like Sean, despite how long we known each other, what have you, like you didn't invite me on here because I'm so good looking, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got
Depends on who you ask. I don't know. I don't know, bro. Careful.
a face only a mother could love.
Hey, man. I don't know. For me, it's that shiny ass tooth. I'm just like bedazzled.
I've been waiting for these diamonds. I got these diamonds 10 years ago. And
What?
Yeah, because I know the woman who created the tooth gems, right? Her name's Susie.
Get the fuck
And
out of
shout-
here.
Her name's Susie. Shout out Tooth Candy, right? So I was one of her test subjects when she was first trying to formulate like how to do it.
So they're like drilled in your teeth.
No, these are bonded on like braces, like the blue
No
UV
shit.
light and all that.
Okay.
But now when you get them, they like last like 3 to 6 months or something. I got mine 10 years ago. She was going through like different testings to see like which glues and which this and which
And
bond.
this motherfucker never came off.
It's been
Let's
10
talk
years.
about the tats. So, how old were you when you got your first tattoo, and why are you against them now?
I got 2 at the same time for my first tattoo. I was like 15 or 16. I was like straight out of like juvenile prison. I think I was like 2 months out. I was like 2 months home, and I got a tattoo that goes shoulder to shoulder, and then I got something on my stomach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why are you against them now, and you're now removing them?
So I know what it's like to have no tattoos. I know what it's like to have some. I know what it's like to have a lot. I know what it's like to have ones that are uncoverable. I know what it's like to have your hands and neck. I know what it's like to have your face. I know what it's like to be tattooed from the top of my head down to the bottom of my toes.
I'm sure the stigma gets annoying as fuck.
Yeah, I have watched directly the result of the progress of being tattooed and the way my life is affected.
Sure.
It only has a negative impact. Having tattoos is only a liability, and it is a 0% asset.
In what way? Explain.
Okay, there's a lot of ways. The first is standard judgment.
Right.
And now
100%.
Yeah, now I knew before I got my face tattooed that I was going to be judged for having face tattoos.
Right.
But the state of mind I was in then, I was young, right? I had like this perspective on reality that is not real today. I have certain, let's say certain tattoos, right? That at the time was something I was really into and I really loved. We're talking 15 years later. I don't even watch that show
Like, why
anymore.
the fuck did I do that?
Yeah,
Right.
I don't even
Right.
like that show. Like if you're into Pokemon cards, let's say, and you get a Pokemon tattoo, and in 15 years from now, you're like, Pokemon was
Where the
whack.
fuck was I thinking? Yeah.
But you're stuck with a Pokemon tattoo forever.
Yeah.
And then you get other people that are like, no, I thought about this for 2 years, and it's my grandmother who passed away.
I think that's a little different scenario than getting, like fucking, east side on your cheek or something like that. And again, this is nothing against you and an attack. I have a great stigma of friends that are completely tattooed, and they all have the same, the same kind of stigmas that are attached to them. And it's unfortunate because ironically, some of the people that have the most tattoos are from the same scenario that come from just, harsh backgrounds or made dumb mistakes when they were younger.
Right.
And now, they're running Fortune 500 businesses and they're getting looked up and down like they're fucking crazy because, they've got skull and bones or, whatever it is. And I feel like that early judgment is pretty contradictory of how our society looks on people and looks on things, really quickly. And when they say don't judge a book by its cover, it's almost impossible when, the cover's got all these colors and stuff. And you're like, well, fuck, let me find out what's behind this book.
I feel that.
It's interesting what you just said, that Fortune 500 company guys who run those companies have hand tattoos.
Yeah.
So there's a huge stigma that people with those tattoos can't do that. And I was one of those guys. Like, I had worked on Wall
For a
Street.
long time, you couldn't, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's only, I feel like it's only become normalized in the past 5-10 years, if anything.
Even the word normalized, I don't know is exactly accurate because
You're right.
It's
You're right.
People like me, and I did work on Wall Street, and I had face tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
The challenges I had are maybe the closest you can relate to somebody who also wants to run a Fortune 500 company. If they have hand tattoos, it's the same as a guy who never had a college education.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not impossible, but they have the same hurdles. But why would I want to add those hurdles
To
in my
create
life?
issues, right?
Yeah, I already have my own issues.
Right.
I didn't have to add ones that people will give me more hard times about.
Sure. And especially ones that don't know you, and they're kind of just predetermining and prejudging off just the looks. It's kind of shady.
Yeah.
Back to the gambling. So you gamble with all these A-list celebrities.
Yeah.
I want to walk through a couple of them. What was it like gambling with Lil Baby?
Gambling with Baby is always cool. He's like always just like down with the get down.
Right.
He's like no hassle, no hard. He's like
Baby just wants to be one of the guys.
Yeah.
He's just hanging out, and you wouldn't know that he's Lil Baby if you didn't know shit about social media and you had no clue about who the guy was. He I think he goes into the category of guys that are really down to earth, like we were talking about earlier with Post and Luda. And you know, I definitely feel like when you get to a certain level of fame, there is nothing more priceless than just having that privacy with your homies, or just being able to go into a grocery store and grab a fucking carton of milk without somebody harassing you for a picture.
Dude,
you
I
know?
saw a post on Impractical Jokers the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck do you not recognize this guy?
there's some people, man.
Dude,
They-
yeah.
like they're really like
But Post is so like,
well, I agree with you, but I'm
I
telling
also
you,
agree with the fact that there are people that just do not keep up with social media, do not listen to music, do not they're just in their own world, man.
something interesting I learned about. So when I was in business, I was kind of anti-social media. I was completely anonymous and like all of this. I had no idea. Like I told you, like I didn't know what No Jumper was, and I was friends with Adam. Right.
Right.
So like there are people that like never even considered it. And then once I entered the space, like looking back, I'm like, wow, I'm still learning every day. Like no matter what level of fame I might be at, whatever, I'm still learning every day. Like, oh, that's who this is. That's, you know, like
See, but I feel like that's a true a true like sign and testament to your friendship. Because all right, I'll put it in perspective here. If I have a friend that I know owns a restaurant, I'm not about to be going in there every fucking day asking for a free meal. That's what a dickhead would do.
yeah. If you were
You know,
a real friend,
your
you would
real
tip
friend-
extra.
Took the words out of my mouth. You're gonna go in, you're gonna show support, you're gonna bring in other people, you're gonna have other clients and whatever. You're gonna support that shit because you know homie's gotta pay bills. It's the same thing with, you know, people in the music industry or people that are doing podcasts or that have relevancy. And for you to say that you didn't even know about his podcast, that just means that you were every time you're with him, you were kicking it with him. You weren't like, hey, what are you working on? Hey, how can I asking a million questions about, you know, what they got going on. It was probably more or less the conversations of, how are you? You good? You know, you okay? Life's good? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Damn, that girl's got a fat ass, you know, or like,
So we connected over BMX, me and Adam, and then
There it
whoever
is.
else it was. Like whoever else I ran into or like befriended was just because we were like minded. We had the same interests. That's it.
it's the same friend group.
Yeah.
what was it like? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say anytime that I've ever had an encounter where it was not because we were compatible or had similar traits, and it was because somebody wanted something, none of those lasted.
No.
Like, there's not one of those guys or girls like in my life that came in with like a motive. You know.
Interior motives always, you know, present themselves in funny ways, and I feel like, you know, no matter how long you keep somebody around, that will always present itself in the most inopportune way. There's never been like a subtle, classy way for somebody to ask you for something like that's just out of their means or like outside the boundaries of what's comfortable. It's always just obnoxiously gaudy or at a wrong time, and you know. Hopefully that makes most people be like, you know what, that ain't the kind of guys I want to have around me.
Yeah, facts. What was it like gambling with Logan Paul?
Logan Paul's cool, man. Actually, you know what? That was one of my cooler experiences, forming the friendship I have with him. So, being like an outsider to social media at the time, right? When I had became friends with him, it was with Mike Malak and Ryan Garcia. I got a call from another one of the guys that was hired to market for the coin, right? And he calls me and I answer and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he goes, hey, I got someone else on the line. His name is Mike. I'm like, all right, put him. I was like, if you're calling me for it, it's probably something solid,
Right.
you know? Puts it through and he goes, hey, what's up? My name's Mike. I'm like, what's up? He goes, hey, I like to film a lot of videos and stuff. I do YouTube, and I want to come to Vegas. And I think from what I've heard that you sound like the guy in Vegas. You know, we could have a good time together. You know, I'll take care of everything. I'm like, okay.
Run it.
Yeah, so me and this guy named Mike had formed a friendship over the phone. Well, it turns out it was Mike Malak. And I never asked. Like, even if he told me what his last name,
Wouldn't have fucking known.
I didn't know.
Doesn't
who it
matter,
was.
right?
Yeah. So we formed this friendship like over like a year or something on the phone, just like vibing, you know, just knowing each other.
Yeah.
Then he says, "Hey, like I think we're all gonna come out to Vegas. Can we film some gambling?" And I said, "Sure." And I ended up winning $1 million on camera for Logan, Mike, and Ryan, right? And the thing was, that was the first time I met Logan, and he was by far the quietest guy in the room.
Yeah.
So when I found out like Logan Paul is coming, in my head I'm like, oh, it's probably gonna be like maybe like a little goofy or egomaniac. He'll be loud, but you know something. I had this like image in my head.
Yeah.
The image he portrays online.
Nah.
He is the quietest, most humble, like nicest guy. Like he don't even want to be on camera.
No.
The only time he's on camera is like when he like, kind of has to.
Who the fuck wants attention when all they get 24/7 is attention?
Yeah.
Bro, it's like saying I'll give you pizza unlimited pizza nonstop, and the one day off that you get, you think you're gonna go get fucking pizza?
Exactly.
No, you're gonna go smack a McChicken or something, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what goes back to what we talked about when we were first sitting down. When all eyes are on you, there is nothing more priceless than having your privacy or having the ability to just hang out with the boys and be one of the guys instead of being that guy. You're just one of the guys. And it's a crazy trade-off because I feel like people don't really understand that the price of fame really comes with a lot of baggage. It's difficult. And I feel like tapping back onto the tattoo topic for you, I feel like that just makes you instantly more recognizable. So like for issues at the casino or, you know, for running into people, it's almost unavoidable. Like talk us through, I want to dive into the whole casino aspect. And I mean, if you're cool with it, I want to know, you know, tell us some of the signs that you can tell that when the casinos are kind of tipping the sides more towards the house.
All right. So there's a lot of ways you can tell. The first is you can just go online and pull up like a probability chart for gambling. Like these are public information. And you'll get a rough idea, the realistic probability of how many hands in a row you're going to win and how many you're going to lose. And if you can, this I don't know is so readily available, but you can, if you're any good with math, you can take the time and do it. You can also create the mathematics behind what hands are likely to win for how long. Like for example,
This is crazy.
if you're dealt, pretend for this, like let's say you created like a software that would tell you this, right? And you dealt yourself in blackjack in 10 hands in a row. And then said dealer, random hands. And you'll figure out how many times realistically they should win and how many times they should lose. And then you can say, when you're playing in real time at a casino, if you're dealt 18, let's say 5 times in a shoe, and you've lost all 5, but you already know from testing the theory
That's hella true though.
that you were only supposed to lose 2 of those times, then you're in a mathematical improbability, not impossibility. But you can go further. You can deal yourself an 18, as many times as you want in the software, and you can give the dealer a 16 every one of those times, and it'll tell you how many times you're going to win. Probably like 90% you'll win 18 versus a dealer 16. But then you go play real, and you'll see that a dealer's got a 6
2, 3, ace, and you're like, what the fuck? Where are these coming from?
every time.
Where are these coming from?
They're true mathematical improbabilities. Some are verging on the border of impossibilities.
Is there a way to tip the improbabilities in your favor?
There are some tricks you can do.
Okay.
Nothing will hold water if you cannot be aware that this is happening.
Interesting.
If you don't even have the understanding of what's happening in front of your face to your money, then there's nothing you can do to protect from it or change from it because you don't even know what's happening.
Damn. I didn't smoke enough weed for this one today.
What's it like when you get banned?
crazy.
Do you get a letter in the mail from the casino? Do they come to your
No.
house?
Hold on. Talk us through how you get banned and then go through the process of how that's.
The answer is almost the same. Every single time has been different because of the reason I'm getting banned.
Okay.
So people
What
get
bullshit
banned.
did they tell you? How about that?
That's exactly
There
right.
we go.
That's exactly
I want to
right.
hear the real shit.
I've heard every.
Tell me.
I've heard everything.
We don't even have to call all the casinos out. I don't want to name names, but I'm fuck sued, bro. This is for pure educational purposes.
Okay.
I'm genuinely fascinated by this because again, we've talked outside and from my understandings, there's always a level of, a facade that the casinos have to put up. And I get that. But I feel like the second that they know that you know what's going on, it's over.
It's a different game.
Right.
When you are doing something questionable or questionably unethical or immoral to the casino, you know what you're doing. And if the casino catches you, they tell you to leave. If you're counting cards, they'll either cap your bets, you have to flat bet, or they tell you to leave. This is like an obvious one, right? If you're cheating, you go to prison for 5 years.
Of course.
Obvious. If you're abusing comps, they'll stop comping you or just tell you they can't come
Right,
back.
exactly.
What happened with me was really unique because out of the 4 people that have ever been in my scenario, none of them happened from the method that I did it, right? So you have the standard stories like Phil and Kelly and I forget the other guy. And, they were pushing some boundaries and winning by creating a loophole, basically, right? But their loophole was identified and explained. It was not a secret. But mine has always remained private. I've never shared the information. So they couldn't understand
how you were getting away with it.
I was getting away with it.
Okay.
So a lot of casinos had a lot of opinions, and they have full teams, that are
trying to decipher what you've got going on.
Yeah. And so when they couldn't,
Interesting.
some of them said, he's just lucky. Keep him around because eventually the luck's going to run out. Other ones said, we don't even care. We need to stop the hemorrhaging. Get him out now. So they all independently barred me at different times, and they all gave me a different reason. I'll tell you some of the reasons. The Cosmo, before MGM bought it, banned me because they said I touched the forks in the Talon Club high limit cafe. Not a joke. Not a joke.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
In the Talon Club,
Yeah.
the super high limit on the second floor,
Very familiar.
there's a lounge in there where you can eat.
Right by the elevator, you make a right, and it tucks in the corner. My favorite.
In the cafe, they have like buffet style food.
Yeah.
And they have the forks spread out on a tray, and you take the fork and help yourself. They said I touched more forks than I needed. They said I only needed 1 fork, and I touched more than 1 fork. This is not a joke. Park MGM was an interesting one. I was with another small group of professional poker players. We caught them cheating, red-handed. I had an executive come down, and I said to the executive's face, I caught you cheating. Here's the proof.
Wait. You caught the casino cheating.
I catch them a lot. So a lot of the reasons for my bans was exposing them.
Bro, I've never heard of somebody be like, no, I wasn't cheating. They were cheating, and then I got kicked out because they were cheating.
Yeah. So
Tell me. All right, I want to hear this now. Tell me how they were cheating.
this was like my first big exposed.
I caught you.
Yeah, I caught you moment. They had at Park MGM, they changed the felt, they changed the tables, they changed the shoe machine, they changed the shuffler, and they changed the monitor. Full new setups in the baccarat room, right? In the Nomad portion.
Sure.
Not that they have to inform the players that they changed anything, but I just didn't know. I was not informed. So I show up to play, and I'm with some poker player friends, and we sit down, and I'm confused. There's like data I've never seen. This is the thing. I might have played more baccarat than almost any other baccarat player. I played probably in more locations, hands. I've seen it all, right? I did not ever see in my life what was on their baccarat screen. I said to the dealer, who I'm very friendly with, for the record, almost every, at this time, a lot of the executives at Park, the dealers, the pit bosses are like personal friends of mine. I've slept with most of the females, and the males have come to all my parties. We go out to dinner. Like, we know each other, you know? So I says to the dealer who I'm friends with, I says, what does this portion of the data mean? She goes, I have no idea. I said to the dealer next door, I said, what does this mean? She goes, I don't know. I said, floor, please tell me what this means. The floor says, to be honest, they just put this in. They didn't explain it. None of us know what this means. I said, okay, I'll figure it out. I played a first hand. I bet whatever I bet. I won. So, and the poker friends, they all followed my bets. We won the first hand. Right. Yeah, of course. We won. No problem. Second hand comes. I believe I bet player, and bank came natural 9. I forget the exact cards, but imagine the cards came 5-4, natural 9. We lost because we bet player. No big deal. We lost the hand.
Right.
So I go to look at the monitor to work on my next hand, and it's displaying the cards of the previous hand. And it says bank 1, natural 9, but the cards displayed are 7 deuce. But the cards on the felt are 5-4.
Right.
I said, hold on. I said, how is this machine going to know bank 1 with a natural 9, unsure how it won, and then make up whatever data it wants just to tell this
right.
to tell the right story. I said, hold on. I said, you guys are cheating. I said, because if you're going to make up that data, that means you're making up all of the data and will continue to make up all of the data, and you will misguide me on every bet I'm going to make, assuming my bets are judged on the data on the screen. They said, we don't know what to tell you. I said, don't touch anything at all. Leave the cards. Call an executive. The executive came down, one that also I used to be very personally close with. I said, I caught you guys cheating. And they said, oh, yeah? And I said, yeah. They said, how? I said, look. And they go, you have 30 minutes for you and all your friends to pack your bags and get out.
Get the fuck out of
This
here.
was a friend of mine. And I said, okay, I'm going to figure this thing out. So we
Right.
pack our bags and we leave. I posted on Instagram that this had happened and I explained it. I tagged the casino like I always do, right? What's up, you know? You did it. You know what you did. I saw them, the casino's Instagram account, watch my story, tagging them, calling them out for cheating. So I screenshot it. You know, you could see your viewers.
Yeah.
I screenshot it. I circled it. I posted that. I tagged them again, and I said, I see you, seeing me see you. I got a call like something like that day or the next day and said, hey, you're banned for 6 months. I said, why? They said, well, you scared the dealers. They said,
You were threatening the dealers.
they said you were threatening the dealers and you're yelling and you're throwing and you're screaming and everybody's scared. I said, I don't
you were
think so.
being belligerent.
I said, I don't think so because I slept with that dealer last night. She didn't seem too scared, you know? And they go, no, it's an issue. You're banned for 6 months. Well, that 6 months has been almost 3 years now.
Wow.
And every time the 6 month mark comes, I say, what's good? They go, oh, this is a crazy story. They go, you went to valet so you can go to the stadium and you fought with the valet driver. I said, are you sure? Because I'm in California right now. They go, yeah, we're sure. I said, okay, I'm going to come to Vegas tonight. We'll figure this out. I get to Vegas. I went up to the head of valet. I said, hey, there's a story that I fought with you earlier today about parking here for the stadium. And I filmed it. I said, do you mind saying to the camera, like, tell me what happened? He goes, I didn't see you today. That never happened. I don't know why they're saying that. So they're staging these incidents to keep justifying banning me.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I had, let's see, who else? I had Caesars ban me because the first time they banned me, I made a comment that I was being judged for my tattoos. So they thought that they were going to have a lawsuit. So they said, we're scared of a lawsuit. We don't want you on property till we figure it out. But it was all made up. Like, it was garbage.
They can just say whatever.
They do say whatever.
They can because they're their own governing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
None of them want to face like reality. I'll tell you. Let me go through it. Ready? So Cosmo for touching too many forks. Park for catching them cheating and posting about it. MGM for no reason. I think they said I made a mess in the villa or something like that. But the real story was the president of MGM International, his name is Justin Maneker, and his right-hand man is Angelo. And Angelo got sent down. I had deposited $9.5 million at MGM Grand. And I got tipped off that he was going to come and threaten me and try to strong-arm me. And I got tipped off from somebody.
Strong on me for what?
So this is what happened. So I get this phone call. I just sent $9.5 million to MGM Grand. I get a phone call. Hey, they're going to come and they're going to threaten you. They're going to try to extort you and they're going to try to keep the $9.5 million. Well, I happen to be with like a lot of other celebrities. We're all like enjoying the day. And so there's a lot of videos happening. People were videoing, everybody's influencers and they're famous, they video. So I said to one of the cameramen, I said, I just got tipped off when and where I'm about to get threatened. Why don't you set up a camera and mic me up? And I went to this meeting mic'd up and this guy was threatening me. And he said all types of crazy stuff. And I posted some of that video. I did have to blur his face and his name. I had to follow the law. But I followed the law and I made a post. And it's on my page and you can look and see it. And they did all types of crazy things. And they banned me following that video.
Did you get your money out?
So they tried to keep $1 million. I had to get my lawyer involved, and they ended up paying me the right amount. But they did try to keep $1 million. Yeah. But I did get paid. I will say that I did get paid. Resorts World banned me because I was it was like me, Rodway, Fora, and some other industry people. We threw like a poker game in one of the villas, and then afterwards we went to go play blackjack. Playing blackjack, I caught them cheating, and we were recording, and I caught them on camera cheating. I also then filmed, I've been saying this from the beginning, that these casinos jam my Wi-Fi. And again, similar to like the crypto and what have you, like people were very skeptical, right? And I was like, it's okay. I know what's good, and I had filmed that same day, like that same trip, Resorts World jamming my Wi-Fi. I filmed it and I made a few posts of all these videos, them jamming, them cheating us on the table, all this. And it got like 15 million views, like in 24 hours. And that night, 4 had gotten barred from Resorts World, and that morning, security came and said I had to go. And nobody ever gave me a reason. They just said, if you ever come back, you're leaving in handcuffs. But I mean, it's obvious what the reason was. You know, I caught them on camera cheating, and I posted the video.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, all of these casinos.
Damn.
The only casino that ever told me the truth to my face was the Wynn. The Wynn told me outright. They said, you're too good and we can't have you here. And I was with, like, I don't know, 30 or something people, a lot of pro poker players. That was like a really epic moment. It was actually worth celebrating. That one. I'm not even
Shout
kidding.
out the Win for being real.
For keeping it real. Shout out the Win. And I've never disrespected the Win. I've never thrown shade at the Win. I've never done
Keep
anything.
it 100, you get 100.
That's it.
You
All
know?
these other casinos, all they had to do was be nice to me. They just had to be nice, and I would have let them live in peace. The day, I'm not even kidding, the day they came to me and said, hey, Mick, I'm sorry, you're winning too much here. This is just not good business for us. We want you to leave. I would have shook their hand and said, no problem.
I'll take it somewhere else.
A beer.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow, that's crazy.
They pull out these shiesty moves, so
We got
Mick, tell them where they can find you. How can they follow up? Because I want to go watch these fucking videos. So tell them what's up.
my Instagram, my TikTok, and YouTube is all the same. It's at Dirty Goth Boy, and
right.
boy spelled BOI. So just at Dirty Goth Boy.
All right, Sean, tell them where they can find you.
Sean Mike Kelly.
And I'm Ari Gold. We'll see y'all next week.